to this YouTube channel. I am Ottavio Renella. I'm a rugby analyst, amateur analyst, and everything, but I don't want to speak anymore. So let's go deep. We're gonna go through different steps. We're gonna speak about off nine, the running nine, half of the KLERK start attacking around the rack, the attacking shape of the Springboks. We see different style, moving the ball differently. The 3 or 4-man pod in the center field, the way to attack from the deep, and some stats. So, is it the beginning of a new style for the Springboks? Is it this Springboks 3.0? Well, let's figure it out and let's go using my favorite software to analyze the game, which is Longomatch. I'm one of the ambassadors of this software. You can find it online. You're gonna read in the comments. I'm gonna drop you the information for Longomatch. Go on longomatch.com for more information, and if you want, of course, you can be a Patreon of Rugby Coach 8, Rugby Coach 8, actually. And let's go. Let's dig into. Shall we start from the stats? Let's start from the stats. So here we go. Some good stats from this new season starting for the Boks. Let's see the difference between the Rugby Championship, the warm-up, trying to compare the averaging during those 3 big tournaments. Let's say tournament, even the warm-up, because there were 3 games against Wales, against the Pumas, Argentina, and the New Zealand, the Rugby World Cup, and the Rugby Championship. It was shorter than usual due to the Rugby World Cup. Anyway, against Wales, we see the Springboks carrying the ball 107 times. The average, previous average carries during the Rugby World Cup, the warm-up, and the Rugby Championship were lower than how much they carry the ball. The Springboks carry the ball during this last game of the summer 2024. More passes than the Rugby World Cup, of course, but we're gonna go and look some other stats about this in every game, and it's gonna be interesting to see, for example, the number of offloads showed during this game were higher than the average of the Rugby World Cup, and a little bit higher than the warm-up matches and the Rugby Championship. Less line breaks than the warm-up, but still more outside breaks. So like the attack in the last meters when you can try to go around the defense. Less kick in play, but remember 42 kicks in the final from South Africa against New Zealand, and the pass kick ratio, 5 passes for every kick against Wales, 3.7, 4.7, 5.5 in the previous games, let's say in 2023. So a little bit of change in this, but that's not only this. I'm gonna share with you now some other information because I think it can be really interesting to see, for example, how the stats goes for every game, because this is something that we can give us some insight into the work of the Springboks. And it's interesting because let's say the best games for passes and carries in the last 2 years were the first game against Australia. Here we go, with 131 carries and 141 passes and 4 outside breaks, the top during all this long year of rugby just passed. But then we see the majority of offloads again against Wales, 15, the best. Then we saw against Australia, 13 against Romania, but then really few to reach out 11 offloads during the summer 2024 last week. And then the most line breaks against Romania and outside breaks, as said, we see against Romania a lot of them, against Argentina and against Wales for another time. 42 are the kicks in play, And what's interesting to see is if we look at the Springboks kicking game in the final 42 with a lowest pass to kick ratio, but then if we go look at the championship 2023, there were the fewest kicks in play by the Boks in the last year were again against New Zealand, but this time the fewest and the highest, and also the fewest and highest pass kick ratio. If you go look at the same, as you can see, these are the stats that you can find in the Patreon. I will upload this later on today. And if you want to see something more about the Wales game, here we go with the stats from last two clash between these two teams, and it's going to be interesting to see how they're going to go fighting against Ireland, the Boks in the last in the next weeks. So, really interesting. So I think it's time to go and take a look into the style of play. So let's move on, starting with the attacking shape of the Springboks. For this reason, I'm gonna start now sharing my screen. I'm gonna show you what we can do even with Longomatch, my favorite software. Okay, so I'm gonna become little here and let's go watching this. But what was different? Well, we start seeing more stacks of player behind the pod. We start seeing more moving the ball with the 15 coming into the field with the wing trying to overlap in the last meters, and many tries. A lot of tries came from kind of movement like that. So let's go dig into this. And before showing you this, I'm gonna show you, for example, a couple of animation. Okay, it's always good to have with us. Here we go. This is the first animation I want to show you. Pretty similar. This is with the 14. I'm talking about stacks of players, one behind the other one. And it's going to be interesting to see how South Africa is going to improve this against a different defense, a better defense, like the Irish. So here we go. For example, this is the Mapimpi break on the left side when they scored the try. We see Edville van der Merwe with the 14 following in axis and then deciding where to go, in or out, staying tight and close to the number 10 or moving around inside, outside. And the same for Apolele Fassi and the moving outside. So we see this pod of 3 players, but sometimes also 4 players moving around, hard line, running, ready to set and fix the defenders and then move the ball on the back of the field. This is a classic example of what we see during the last game, but another one really little and not so different is still moving the ball around and around. Let's go look in the game. Okay, so let's go and use Longomatch for this reason. So let's see. Okay, I'm gonna have different example. I'm gonna try to speed up, sometimes to slow down the screen. And let's start with this with the first charge. Let's go in 2 minutes in. And we see what happened with the try, Jesse Krill try in this occasion. We can see this pod of 3 and the connection behind 10-15 playing a good role together. I honestly didn't like a lot the way Hendricks played this game, but I prefer a lot what Fassi did. There are few videos on the YouTube channel where you can find their individual performance, no cuts, full game, and it's gonna be interesting to see, because when you have a center, a strong center as a 12 like this, because this was interesting to see, not Damian de Allende, but Esteroisen playing a center there. You can fix so much the defense in front of you with a player like him. So let's go. first move. So we saw the three players moving the ball behind the pullback pass, the strong carry by Esteroisen, and then the quick hands. Interesting. This let's say unconventional, not unorthodox pass, but really good basket pass by Fassi. Classic spin, but right pass there. And some issues here in the defense, because we have Costello standing, not fixing and tackling or trying to stop the support line of Kriel after the pass in this 2 versus 1. Dewey Lake trying to stop, but then the speed is too much by Mapimpi, and then the ball move back into the inside for Kriel, and Kriel can score. We saw this different times. Why? Because this kind of pod and moving the ball, moving from far away, it's something that usually we didn't see before in the box. Why? Because usually territory let's go play in your half. We don't play in our half, and this is something that was different. We're gonna go deep into that too, but let's go, for example, in the second half, the Mapimpi try, as I show you before. Here we have different passes, different multi-phases attack, and then now I slow down the action again. You see what happened in this case. We saw Mapimpi Fassi was in the rack, and then he decided to just move and get ready to be in axis with Hendriksen, and from there moving the ball, having an overlap. In this case, for example, we can see how strong came the Welsh defense out. Let's see what they do. So Fassi goes in position, and after he goes in position, the pass goes inside. Quick ball there by the pod. Another interesting stuff we're gonna see again, this passing in the pods, and then move the ball behind. 12 fast hands by Esteruisen again. Fassi again with almost straight with the elbow close to the body. The pass to Kriel, and then again Kriel to Mapimpi. Deadly combination over there. This time they went through 2 phases, but we see the shape is the same. If I go back in this with this frame that I draw, you can see actually the 3 plus the man behind the pod, and from there moving the ball in front or behind. Okay, there are different situations that the Springboks are trying to use, innovating their kind of play. This happened many times, and not only when the Boks have the backline completely ready out, but it's the same style even when they have the backs completely all the backs in the rack, let's say, like this example over here. So Fassi, Kriel, Esteruis, and Van der Merwe. So you don't have all these player that usually you want outside, but hey, no problem, because the ball can still move and can still move really in an interesting way out. So let's see this pass. This is in the second half. Look at this, still the 4-man pod in the middle, and then there is like a 4-2-2, only with Mapimpi far away and Hendriksen. In this case, again, 4-man in the middle. The ball goes behind, and they decide to play with Quagga, Smith, and the help of Pieter-Steph du Toit and also Franco Moster. Why Franco Moster arrived there? Because he was part of the 2-man pod in the middle with Etzeber, so the locks were there, and one lock stays in the middle, and the second one goes to help in that rack, as you can see in this moment as they move the ball. So we see movement, different shapes, but still the principle of play, they looks the same. The shapes, the pattern looks the same. This this is another occasion in the first half. Still 7 minutes in. Look, the players. Let's count together how many players we see in this situation. We have the 3-man's pod plus one, let's say. So there are 3 plus 1. Why? Why I say plus 1? Because sometimes one player can run around the corner with around the rack, sorry, with Faf de Klerk, and other times needs to help more, or to keep the rack clean, or to start with a pick and go. In this case, we have the 3-man's pod plus, let's say, Koch in the inside as a first player, and then again 10, 12, 13 ready to go. But the difference is that you have 2 hardliners. They can run there. One is Atzebat, the second is Quagga Smith. So let's go. They move the ball in this situation, and we saw again the style. Other times you have the full back line, and you can attack with the full back line, as I said before. So in this situation, Quagga Smith attacks the hard in the middle of the field. Good cleaning here, and again, this is another situation. The situation that I show in the animation when you have the full line ready to attack. As you can see, the pod of 3-man's pod here, there is one hardliner, and then you have all the players able to also run on the front, like first option of attack flat. They can be Kriel, but can be also Esteroizen, as we saw before. So in this occasion, ball goes behind. Again, Fassi with his hands is showing some good attitude in the let's say in the 15 meters channel, almost, because it's just across the 50 meters channels line, and they're able to move and find a line break on the outside. But then in this was the situation where Mapimpi touched the line out. We spoke about these kind of pods in the middle. It's not only the situation, but I'm gonna go again into these principles in this pattern that we start looking with the new Springboks, and this is another situation. Again, we have 2 players in the on the blind side, number 8 Evan Ross and Etzebeth. We have the 3-man's pod, always the number 10 behind the pod, 10, 13 already in the space. You can see Step Dutoy too. So ball goes there in the center, and Esteruizen with Peter Steph Dutoit on the left side of the rack. Ball for them. Look how many meters they gain, even tackled. Other 5 meters and more until they get tackled. And this is one of the new things that we saw. But it's not only this, because I was talking about how differences in the use of the pod. Okay, we saw the pod moving the ball in a different way. So I'm going to show you again with Longomatch how the ball has been moved and how the shape change with the little details as the off 9 running 9. Okay, so let's go through this, and I'm starting with, look at this work by Faf de Klerk, specific in this game. I'm wondering how he's gonna attack against Ireland, and this is one of the example. I'm gonna slow down more this mini clip. Is one, look how many times here is running to try to create the space, fixing the first guard, and the second guard too is being fixed by the prop running a certain angle, certain line. Okay, this is the occasion where Evan Ross find an highway in the middle of the field. But let's go see from the other camera how it is different, because in this occasion you can see 2 really wide, let's say, this defense, a lot of space to be attacked by South Africa. And let's slow down this so we can see everything and who goes where. The prop attacks Faf de Klerk. The outside defender has to tie and come attacking, defending, let's say, not attacking, defending the attacking prop. But there are two options, and it's so wide the defense in this situation. As you can see, in the moment the ball passed by, is out. The second defender is out because he think, okay, Vincent Koch is going to be tackled by me, but no, the ball goes wide and there is this highway in the middle. Not only this situation we saw from Faf de Klerk, this is another situation where he attacked the second player. First, the second player moved on his side, and then there is like this switch with Franco Monster. Not the best execution, but still you can see the space created by the number 9. Okay, sometimes what can happen, how they can fix this. Hey, if Quagga Smith here, the situation steps, make 1-2 steps more, trying to cleaning this rack, there's not going to be anybody able to move around, and it's going to be easier for Franco Monster to attack that space inside the inside space, because there is the run. So Faf runs really well. It's not the only situation. We already saw this situation, how de Klerk was able to move around with a pod of 4 people that we mentioned previously. I'm going to show you just quick. Before, this was the situation that we saw few moments earlier, which was Vincent Koch being the first player in this pod of 4. Okay, but what happened then? Vincent Koch doesn't participate to this rack, but look at the running by the number 9 and the prop. So I'm gonna show you this slowing down in this case. Again, attacking the first, the second 2, and then bad pass. Actually, a good pass because there is an advantage there. But we see this again. Probably this is the staple because we saw 11 offload, and many of these offload came from this situation here. So here we go. There is the first run in the same way, the prop following, and I think this is really innovative. Is like new Tony Brown style, the way the number 9 attacks the first guard again, the first defender, standing defender, and again the prop moving around. So we saw before Vincent Koch moving that way, and now Oxenche moving the same way, finding a great pass again, pass into contact, offload, moving the ball in the space, step in by Quagga Smith, crazy pass by the same Fassi, trying to move the ball to Edwin van der Merwe. So this is something, but it's not the only thing I want to show you, because as before I show you this pass, I saw literally more passes in the pod. This is the first one that we saw before, and this is another situation where the pass goes in a pod. Look at how many players there is. The 3-man pod, 1, 2, 3, plus the another hardliner in case needed, and they can move the ball. So the other player in this case is Dixon, can move around. So move the ball before contact, goes in, is being tackled in the pod Moirat, but Dixon can goes there, and they can also try sometimes to play close again, and maybe another of 9 with another player ready to attack. Not only this, another 4-man pod in the middle of the field, And let's go with this with South Africa one without Fassi and then moving the ball on the third player. So we saw the ball moving to the first, to the second, to the third player, playing inside, outside, or attacking the line. And this is another really interesting situation, in my opinion, for what they show. Of course, when you have a player that can get every ball in the air, so just a little mention for this guy, because Fassi was great on the high balls, and he didn't have to tackle anybody. Zero tackle, but I counted here 11 catches, 12 views, because there is this, but he was perfect. And I'm wondering how he's going to be used in the next games and what he can bring again to the Boks. But let's go through another situation, a little bit different, quite different, attacking from their own territory. This is something that for me, so attacking from deep was something new and surprised me in a positive way. Let's go again with Longomatch and look this situation. Yes, you can tell me, oh, but there was an advantage there. Yes, I know that. Some situation there was, but it's interesting to see how they can manage to manipulate defense in with playing from their own alpha. This is the great situation, the great chance here to move this ball from their own 50s, let's say, not from the 22. They tried it in this occasion. Couple of situations saw both number 10s, Hendricks and Gomez Zulu, moving the ball, trying to force the play, like in this situation here. Lucky, South Africa is lucky to have Van der Merwe tackling not once but twice. But hey, again, another situation, attacking from their 50s. Another situation, attacking from their own 22, moving the ball wide for Van der Merwe, and ready to gain. Look how many meters they gain, but it's not the only situation where they gain so many meters. Good pressure too, because then Winnet has to kick, and it's not going to be the best kick. And these are all strike plays where they want to try to play in that way. But here we go with in the second half, for example, when Sasham Gomez Zulu was in the field. There's this situation from Amol, and then the ball goes out. Ball to the Allende, moving inside from Gomez Zulu himself, and then from here moving fast the ball around the rack with the forwards, gaining territory again. And look how the situation and the shape in attack. They are in their own own 50s, and here you can see the pod, four-man's pod in the middle, also with the changes from the bench and everything. And here we can see, like, let's say classic traditional Boks. There are so many situations like this that they're like a staple for the South Africa. Really high ball, a lot of time in the air, good tackle, and from here again, then Bonambi scored the try because there was a penalty for South Africa. But hey, much more of this. That was a way to manipulate using the kicks from their own 50s. Other situation where they try to attack again from their own 50s like this, almost out the ball for Fassi by Mapimpi. But I think this is interesting because there is a new threat in the defense now, because they have to think also, okay, South Africa is going to attack hard, so where we going to defend better, how we going to position our players in the field from a defensive perspective, right? Not only this, I'm going to try to show you another situation. I used to call it this classic Boks, because from situation like this, thinking last year they were really good. I remember great try, only with pressure, let's say kick and pressure, by Kriel against Wales. I think you remember what happened last time. Another time, I slapped the ball in their own field and then kick. This time is not the best kick by KLERK, but it's interesting how deep they goes again. And if you remember that game, there was a kick by the Allende for Kriel, and the pressure on Grady, the mistake by Grady, but hey, really similar, right? So gaining again the ball, and in this situation, after you gain the ball, you can go and play in the chaos, play not in the structures, but play in the instinct almost, let's say. And to close, because we see some issues, some mistakes by Hendricks. I want to, and I mentioned Sasha Gomez-Zulu mistake. Let's see this, because another situation where, first of all, here we see Etzebeth trying to offload this ball, looking around if there was the possibility, the chance to pass the ball inside for Quagga. And after this, ball down, clean the ball, pick and go. In the first half too, there were a couple of situations where they decided to move the ball and showing actually the ball to the player coming in to clean up the rock. Ball out, 4-man squad. I highlighted only 3 players, but there is also the 4th player, which is Bud Spencer, Franz Malherbe over there, and Gomez-Zulu, Kriel, Fassi again, hard line for Dixon, and Mapimpi, as we said before. So same situation, and this is interesting because the defense that came up so high into the opposite field, probably something that more similar to what we can see from Ireland, but the difference is also the attacking outside inside of the defender trying to close option, really South African. And in this situation, the ball is a little bit too hard and not perfect for Dixon in this situation. But that's it for now. I think it was interesting to see a different wave. So is it time for the new Boks? Are we going to see more of this style of play? They're going to be more, let's say, conservative in the way they're going to play against Ireland, or is going to be time to really open something? Or they're going to be this part of the new plan of principle of play, attacking play, of Rassi Erasmus and Tony Brown? Who knows? So I'm really excited I'm looking forward to the next game, the series actually. So, let me know in the comments if you like if you like this video, if you have some suggestion for me. That's my English, that is the way. And of course, I'm gonna also put some information about other videos. There was a really interesting videos that we did with Leonardo Matoccia, academy coach of the Leicester Tigers, that we did in English, about how the Springboks attack the sky. Let's call it in this way. I'm going to show you some stuff there. It's in English, and you're going to find it in the commentary section. That's it. Hope you like it, and see you next time with another video with Longomatch, with all the good stuff, let's say. And if you want, you can join Patreon, Instagram, YouTube, and of course on X. Ciao, ciao.